Hi, it's Tommy Jo from Bird Street Studios. I wanted to come on and do a flip through this journal. I did a video when I first started it with some ideas of how to make some ephemera and how to use up some papers and that, and I was going to come back periodically and try to add to those videos, but I didn't want to do a total start to finish because it can get pretty lengthy. But with the holidays and everything, I kind of just was working on it when I had a chance and really didn't have a whole lot of time to videotape. So it's finished. And I thought I'm just gonna do a flip through and show you what it's like. So my journals usually are tied with sari ribbon, and I didn't tie it in a bow or anything. I usually just tuck mine because they're just easier to do. And but anyways, I will link this cover material, any of the papers that I use other than what I created myself. I'll link in the description box because I'm not really sure of all of them, so I'll kind of go through them myself when I list it and link those for you in the description box. So without further ado, let's get started. So on the front, I do know this material I buy from a lady in Montana. And I'll link her. I get most of my material there. It's just gorgeous. This material in particular has butterflies, dragonflies, and it's almost like a kind of a tie-dye boho type material. I love it. But anyways, so this is just linked with some sari ribbon, and then I just wrap it around, like I said, because it's so much easier to just tie, do that than tie and untie for me. This is a digital. It was a public access digital that I cleaned up a little bit. And here is some homemade paper. And then this is the inside paper. It was some scrapbook paper that I was trying to use up. So I just kind of put everything on there. It is pamphlet stitch, 3 signatures. Most of my journals are pretty much the same size, but this is 6 inches wide by about 8 1/4 inches tall. And so when you open up the front cover, we've got a pocket here that I just have collaged with some coffee dyed paper, and this paper is the confetti paper, so it's kind of cool. And I just tuck that in there for journaling, and there's a lot of space in here. These, I did a video on how to create these little seed packets. Now, I didn't put anything in them. There are a few throughout the journal, but you can add your own mementos, ephemera, pictures, whatever you want to these little seed packets. And this is a flip up for journaling. Can't always journal on these pretty pages, but I added a little flip up so you could journal somewhere. Again, this is public access that I pulled down off the internet, and this is just a faux library card. I love these papers. I'll link where I got these from. These are collage papers. They come in sets. I love them. And here's a paper. It was a public domain, and then I added the flowers to it. And again, here's a pocket made out of that collaged papers with a card. And then this was a digital that I downloaded. I just loved it, and I thought, well, it's botanical, it'll match. So that's just folded for journaling. And a card. And this is a belly band here with paper that I sewed that on, and I actually made this graphic smaller and laid that in there. And then this was something that I purchased off Etsy. It was a thing of papers, and I will link that. This is just an envelope that kind of goes on both sides. It's got a pocket right here, and I have a tag and another digital that I created and stuck in there. These pockets are pretty big, so you could put all kinds of stuff in there if you wanted to. And there's a pocket with, I backed this with some paper that I had that I wanted to kind of get rid of or something, so you can journal on the back. This is one of the papers that I did a video on, how I took a scrapbook paper, that's the one with the dots, and then I gessoed it and printed on it to kind of recreate it and tone it down. This is packing paper that I keep and cut to use as journaling pages. This is coffee dyed paper that I collaged and edging on. This is a collage paper that I purchased, but then I printed it with a graphic on top to kind of add to it and change it a little bit. This is the center of the first signature. So I've got paper here with two big pockets with a couple of pretty big journaling cards in here. And this is another one, this paper I purchased, but then I printed it with a graphic on top. And then these are just collaged on, these pieces here. This is pieces of scrapbook paper that I probably wouldn't use otherwise, so I started ripping up pieces to put in these collage sheets because they match pretty well, but if you had a whole sheet of it, not so much, not crazy over it. A lot of journaling space in my journals, as always. Again, another seed packet that I created out of a piece of paper that I probably wouldn't otherwise use. And this is an altered paper clip. That's what holds it on here, this right here. I just made a little tag, some little embroidery floss, and a butterfly there. And then here's that paper that I printed with a Botanical. That was a free access Botanical. Then this tag was one that I made out of my glue book. So that tucks up under there. And here's a pocket made out of that. It's the other side of that envelope. And here's a little card that I made, a journaling card. And these flowers right here are made out of just scrapbook papers. And this was a digital paper right here. This right here was, I don't know, a piece of packaging, this pink part, and I sewed a button on it. But I cut these out of, my Cuttlebug, out of a, I don't know if it was a Tim Holtz floral or whatever. But anyways, I loved it, and I was able to use these a couple of times throughout the book. But I used papers that I just had like little pieces of. Let me see if I, like if I had a piece of paper like this, I might be able to stick that in there and cut some flowers out of it. So that's what that is. And these right here are when I get done with my glue book pages. That's like this. And I save them. I either fold them in half and save them and use them for belly bands, or I'll fold them up to use them as cards. But they're always a little longer, so I always keep the page numbers, and that's what that's from. Then here's a pocket that I put a little embossed bee and a flower and a journaling card in it. And that's the end of the first signature. Here I've got a little faux envelope, and just tuck this folds out as well for journaling. And then you can just tuck that in a little butterfly to hold it. Here's a little postage stamp. And again, some of these I just printed lightly, a lot lighter, so that they would be good for journaling. And here's another one of those flowers where I just glued them down, and then I took a piece of homemade paper and then I dotted it with some, actually I think I used Crayola markers for that. Here's a belly band with a tuck in there. And again, this is just collaged on, and this is a piece I made by reducing a graphic and putting that on a piece of paper. This is again another envelope that I covered and cut a little thing out to make a thumb hole. And there's a tag. That was from a purchased graphic, but I put some little ribbon in here. And then this is a pad of paper. It's got some scrap papers in it, coffee dyed or otherwise. I'll put that right there. Another scrapbook paper that I kind of fixed up. That's in a video that I did. A stamp. Here's another altered paper clip. It's just a little butterfly and a tag again. And this is a graphic that I pulled and I just glued it onto some cardstock. This right here I made by these lines. Kind of cool. Let me just find what I did. I used the Memento Brown and, let me find one, and a credit card. Like this, an old credit card or whatever, hotel card, and I just dipped it and I went like that on it, and it made some really scrappy looking lines on there that I kind of like for journaling. So that's an idea. This is packing paper right here, so it's rather thin, but it's really good for journaling. And what looks really pretty on here is if you journal in white or gold or something. Kind of nice. Collage page. Again, a collage graphic that I downloaded, but then I added this botanical to it. This was a purchased graphic that I backed. And this here, this is part of those collage pages I love. And I did sew around these here. And then this is another seed pack and a card. And again, this was a purchased graphic right here. I reduced it. I think it's, let me see, it's this paper right here. Okay. And then I just put this paper, after I printed this out, I put it back in my printer and printed this graphic on it. So, same thing I did with this. This is a purchased paper, printed a graphic. Here's my collage sheet with some scrap paper on there. This was a free download, public access. Again, another card. These are all different. I actually downloaded these and then took them into Photoshop. So I have some of them are, let me see if I can go back. Some of them I did not clean up really. The ones that are kind of cream colored, let me see. I know I had one up here. I thought I did. Oh, like this right here. This is actually how it comes out. But then I put Procreate on my iPad and I pulled the picture into into Procreate, and I removed all the background all over everything on some of the pictures, and those are the ones that I saved as PNGs because then there's no white background on them. Excuse me. If there's no white background on them anymore, this is transparent, okay, then I can print them on top of something and it won't show that yellow background. So that's what I did. And I also can size them then as well. This is a pocket that I made. I actually saw somebody do a pocket where they took the paper like this and they folded it. Let me pull these out so you can see. Okay, and they folded it. Then they folded it up like this, part way. Then they folded this down like this, and then they folded this down, and they made these steps, okay? But they use double-sided scrapbook paper, and I don't have any of that. That's like Stamperia and that. Those are a little bit out of my price range. So I don't have leftover papers like that. So I just took a regular digital that I downloaded, which is this one here, and I did fold it. But this side would be white and this side would be white. So I just, and you can't see that, I lined those with a different paper. And that's how I created that. It's just a piece of paper folded in half and then folded up and made layer pockets. So now you have a pocket here, a pocket here, a pocket here, and a pocket here. So I just stuck some digitals in there. This is a digital, kind of cool. That came, it was one of the purchased ones that I did, and so I just stuck that in there. That as well, stuck that in there. I used the other half of that for something. I stuck that one in there, and then there's a little seed envelope. And again, like I said, the seed envelopes, I didn't put anything in there, so you can fill them with whatever you want. Okay, and there's a seed envelope and a digital that I backed. This was, I think I got it from Graphics Fairy years ago. I don't know. A lightened page. This is an altered paper clip with a full envelope in there for journaling. And here's another card, postage stamp. And you actually can journal right on this page, even though it's a little brighter than most. You can journal on there, so I wasn't real quick to cover that up. This was a download. I printed on both sides. Coffee dyed paper. This, I made this into a little corner pocket. I just took a regular digital and backed it and made a corner pocket. And here's another one of those cards. Love this paper. This is an altered paper clip, so you can hook it right onto the edge of your paper, and then there's just a piece of coffee dyed paper there. There's an altered paper clip again with a seed packet. Lots of journaling space. I love this. This background paper is so pretty, and then I just tried to add some different botanical pictures. Graphics Fairy, I believe, and her moth and butterflies. This is a paper that I've shown you how I did it, where I did use the strips, leftover strips, and I glued them onto a piece of paper, sewed it all the way around. And here's another envelope pocket with a couple of cards. I did one this way, and when you turn it, I did one this way. And then this is one of my little collage snippets I put in there. And this, I think I learned this thing from G. Kerr, how to create this little thing that's got a pocket in it. So there's a card and then a little bookmark, and I just have it paper clipped on. So you can untie this and totally open it up to journal on it. But there's a pocket that you can tuck stuff in. So there's a little bookmark. So if you were, wanted to keep track of where you've journaled or whatever, you can take it out and use it as a bookmark. But I thought these were so cute. I loved her idea. Another collage page. There's a pocket with this was purchased, this digital here, but I thought it was so pretty. And just a coffee dyed index card for journaling. Love, love. This page is sewn because it is part of the center. And here I've got a card, and then this is just a free graphic. And it's about botanical, the seeds. The seed is the essence of the fruit of every vegetable, and that's why I used it. It has to do with seeds. Here's a seed packet. Then here's a card that's just paper, and then I printed a flower on it. And here's a seed packet. I love this journal. I absolutely love it. This is some scrapbook paper that I had, and this is a digital from those seed packets. And here's another one of the flowers. This is from a digital, some scrapbook paper, another digital, and I sewed a button on there with some floss. And it's a journaling card. And then this is just a pocket, not a flip. And there's a seed packet and a journaling card. I tried to put a lot of places to tuck things or blank spaces to journal in here. And then this is just an envelope pocket, and then this is a little bag that I created. I did a video on how to make these bags, but I thought I'd stick that in there. That way if you had things you wanted to put in it, you can just tuck it in there. There's another one of those flowers that I just put on there. This is a band. I don't know where I have them. Where I keep it, but it's, you know, the packing paper, and I just run it through the sewing machine to make a ruffle. And then a lot of people try to tuck this and it gets caught, but if you bend it a little bit and get it started, it's easy to tuck your card right in there. I love how this one came out, and I love this flower on it. I just printed this on top of that digital. Another seed packet held by a paper clip with a little ribbon on it. And then this is the last. This is the back cover. This is a pocket with some lace here, like doily lace. These were downloads. These were pictures off of a seed packet. And then just a couple of journaling spots in here. A card and some paper and a little journaling card. So that's it. So I will put this piece through the grommet and then wrap it around, because that's, I don't know, that's just so much easier for me. I just wrap it around and tuck it in like this. And anyways, that's the journal. Like I said, this will go in my Etsy shop soon. I've got to list it, get this video up, and I'm on to another project I'm kind of excited about. So thank you so much for watching. And if you're interested in this, just check my Etsy shop. It'll go up pretty soon, probably in the next day or two. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.